everybody, how's it going? It's a Daily Shooter, and today we're going to talk about ammunition laws in California, specifically bringing ammunition into the state of California in 2019. So let's get started. Now, just like always, I want to remind you guys that I am not a lawyer, so this should not be considered legal advice. The information that I'm going to be giving you guys today comes directly from the California Legislative Information website. I'm going to be basically reading from the amended bill directly. Okay, so you guys ready to wrap your heads around some of the most ridiculous nonsense ever to be forced upon California firearms owners? It's really difficult, trust me, to understand. It's difficult to navigate, and it just makes absolute no sense at all. And if you ask me personally, I think it's 110% unconstitutional. Nonetheless, this is the law as passed in the state of California, and we're going to go ahead and cover it as is today. Now, I will put a link down in the description box. It'll take you to the California Legislative Information website. If you decide to go there, click on today's law as amended. That'll take you to the most current version of the law where it actually has the amended sections and subsections. So you'll be able to read through everything, but just be aware it's a lot of pages regarding ammunition. I mean, pages and pages of ammunition vendors and licenses and licensees, regulations, registration, and everything else before you even get to transportation. Now, in order to give you guys accurate information, I'm going to go ahead and read some of this directly from the Legislative Information website. But I want you guys to pay very close attention because the information that I found only seems to pertain to ammunition that is purchased outside of the state of California by California residents and then brought back in. I don't see any information that suggests that we can't buy ammunition in state, take it out of state, use it, and then bring back what's left over. How they would actually know where we purchased the ammunition, even based on the current laws, due to the fact that we've obviously owned ammunition prior to the law taking place, I have absolutely no idea. I'm just going to read you guys the law, and I want you to pay attention to that because, again, it seems to focus on ammunition purchased outside of the state of California by California residents specifically. Okay, so here we go. Section 30368A. Commencing July 1st, 2019, a resident of this state shall not bring or transport into this state any ammunition that he or she purchased from outside of this state unless he or she first has that ammunition delivered to an ammunition vendor in this state for delivery to that resident pursuant of the procedures set forth in section 30366, which, if you guys look it up, is located just above 30368, obviously. So, as you guys obviously heard there, this really seems to pertain to California residents purchasing ammunition outside of the state of California and then bringing it back in. That would be what's considered illegal. It doesn't say anything about us buying ammunition here from what is pretty much only now a licensed vendor, taking that ammunition that we purchased out of state and then bringing it back in. Now, there are some people who are exempt, and we're going to go ahead and read those exemptions. Now, these exemptions actually do apply to people who live in the state of California that purchase ammunition outside of the state, and it also pertains to people who do not live in the state of California that want to bring ammunition in. Now, I want to start off, I'm not going to go chronologically here, but I want to start off for those people that do not live in the state that are thinking about traveling here or thinking about visiting here. I want to answer your question first because I know that it can be most confusing to people who are visiting California. So we talk about subsection B here. The subdivision of A does not apply to any of the following: bringing or transporting into the state any ammunition. And if we scroll over, it says a person that at the time he or she acquired the ammunition was not a resident of this state. So if you were not a resident of this state at the time that you bought the ammunition, once again, how would they know? I have no clue. But if at the time you bought the ammunition, you were not a resident of the state of California, then you can bring whatever ammunition you want with you. If you give it to somebody, if you were to let somebody even shoot it, borrow it, whatever, once you enter the state of California, that's a whole nother story. But importing it into California as a non-resident or somebody who is now a resident but purchased it at the time they were not a resident, you can go ahead and bring that over state lines. Now, I'm sure you guys are already bored to death, but I don't want to bore you any further by reading 16 subsections as it pertains to 30368, transporting ammunition in the state of California. So let me just go ahead and summarize it for you. Okay, we already covered non-residents and bringing ammunition in the state, but for California residents, if you, let's say, want to go hunting out of state, You can go ahead and purchase ammunition out of state, do your hunting trip, but California says that they're not going to allow you to bring back more than 50 rounds of that ammunition that you purchase out of state. If you decide that you want to go to a 3-gun match or any other shooting competition that's located out of state, and you purchase your ammunition out of state, then you again can't bring more than 50 rounds. If you go out of state and you were gifted ammunition from a relative or something like that, you can only bring 50 rounds of that back. If it's more than 50 rounds, it has to be sent to a licensed ammunition vendor for transfer to the person. So let's say I go to Bass Pro Shop in Las Vegas and I want to buy, they have a sale for 1,000 rounds of 5.56. I can't bring that 5.56 back with me over the border. I have to have that ammunition sent to a licensed vendor to do a background check to actually be transferred to me. Yeah, like I said, you're going to have to wrap your head around this stuff because it is absolutely ridiculous. Basically, they just want your dollar and they want to know who you are. They want to know how much you're spending and they want to keep a record of exactly how much ammunition you're buying. That's what all of this is for. In order to compartmentalize California and what Californians are buying, they're limiting what you can get out of state because out of state, they don't keep record of this stuff. So again, basically, if you want to buy ammunition out of state for whatever purpose you're going to use it for, 50 rounds is the max to bring back in. Now, there is a list of people in those 16 subsections who are exempt from the law completely that can take ammunition and bring it back and forth over state lines. Those are licensed FFLs, licensed California ammunition vendors, importers, or if you have your, I believe it's a Type 3 FFL, your Curio and Relics, if you are a collector and you have the proper documentation, you can go ahead and you can bring ammunition back and forth. Law enforcement, properly documented law enforcement and so forth can bring ammunition back and forth, so it doesn't apply to them. This only applies to your average Joe. Now, I don't typically like to interject my opinion in these videos, and that's because I try and keep these specific videos informational so you can come here, get the information, and then apply it to your life however you want. But I've had enough. This is ridiculous. I cannot believe that this stuff actually passed. Not only did it pass, but it wasn't passed unilaterally by the governor's office or by the Democratic Party or by the Republican Party of California. This is something that was approved by California voters. Along with a laundry list of other gun control items, California voters went to the polls in 2016 and said, yes, we want this stuff. And for some reason, even though there's millions of gun owners in the state of California, and I understand that a lot of them are FUDs and a lot of them are completely inactive as far as voting goes, and that there is widespread voter fraud in the state of California, I am just absolutely stunned that out of the millions of gun owners in this state, there wasn't enough people to say, no, we don't want this in our state. It just boggles my mind. And what gets me is I have talked to a lot of people who have come onto this channel to vent their frustration with these laws, who at the same time said that they couldn't get the time off work or they couldn't make it because they were on vacation or whatever. Nothing is more important than our rights. I'm sorry, going to a baseball game or a football game or being late for work or requesting a vacation day off in order to go vote for these things, nothing is more important than protecting our rights. I mean, I don't care what it comes down to, unless you are in labor and delivery with your wife and the baby's head's crowning, you need to get your ass out and vote these things down. Enough is enough already. Okay, it's bad enough when our California government shoves this crap down our throats and we're forced to make ways around it. It's completely different when the citizens of the state of California do it to ourselves. Now, I know a majority of you out there watching this video right now who are subscribed to my channel are the ones who went out and are the ones who vote and are the ones who fed up and are the ones who have had enough and are the ones who either are going to make change or they're probably heading out of state, because I know there's a mass exodus leaving California right now. But I know a majority of you out there are not the problem, but it's a small minority who needs to get their ass in shape and actually fight back against this crap, because this is enough. This is enough. Okay, they're regulating and registering ammunition. They're registering firearms. They're putting people in jail. This is not the free country of the United States. This is not a republic. Okay, there is a supermajority of Democrats in the California legislature and controlling the governor's office right now. We do not have a voice. The only voice that we have is either in the courts or at the voting booth. And we have to do something about it. Now, I know there's people out there who are going to say, it's time to take up arms or whatever. But keep in mind that even the patriots of the 240 years ago, okay, they didn't take up arms until it was the last absolute straw. That's not something you jump into lightly. You take every advantage to make the change first in other ways before you go to something that extreme. So all I can say is, look, we need to make change. We need to support the groups that support us, that are fighting these things through the court system, and we need to donate our money to them. And then when it comes time to vote again in 2 more years, we need to make that happen. So anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys letting me vent this time. It's just getting enough is enough now. Enough is enough. So thanks very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. Have a great day.